What is up, soul warriors? My name is Juniper Bloom Mystique. I am an ascension master, master healer, and divine guide. For those of you who don't know me, as crazy as it sounds, and I can prove it up, down, left, right, and center, I am the one who brought about the ascension. I've done this over almost a 4-year period of time. I did it through clearing Mount Shasta, which was a very key component, to activating pyramids of all kinds from Fiji to Botswana, Zimbabwe, Indonesia, Myanmar, Machu Picchu, all over the world. I've activated pyramids. Then I united Jesus and Mary Magdalene and undid the false Holy Grail, which was not holy. That's why I call it false. It was a contract that I don't even want to describe to you how it was written. But there were a few of those that I have undone. And then I even dried up after turning the Nile blood red. And all of these happened to me in workshops. And if you know anything about energy and spirituality and the way things work, is you do them in real time and then they boomerang back in your environment. So that is who I am, and that is what I've done. And if you aren't paying attention to the whole world around you, it is already changing in a very magnificent way. Okay? So recently we even did Mount Shasta Part 2, and it was a very big piece of a collective shadow. Whoa, the sunlight just went down. It was like somebody turned the lights out. So forgive that. Let me turn on my light here if I can. It was a very big piece of the collective shadow, okay? And that is kind of what's going on in the energy. So at Mount Shasta was a fallen angel named Samael. And he is the first original fallen angel. Okay, there was 3 though in total. I did lose a twin flame on this journey. I do believe I only lost one. I think my new one is doing what he needs to do. That is my wish. I don't know for sure. But all I know is that I feel lots of love, right? There's lots of love in the air. There's a big push of love. And I want to talk a little bit about what Spirit wanted me to talk about today, okay? Because of the work that I did, it is the apocalypse. Some call it the apocalypse of the Matrix. Some, like the Bible, calls it the apocalypse of John the Apostle. Because John the Apostle is the true individual who actually killed Jesus. Okay, I talk about that on my channel. Here's the crazy part though, is all those workshops that I did, it would come through into me and the people would join me and they would feel it, experience it. We would all witness it. It's very real. And about 90% of that has been put on this channel for you guys to see. And even some of it happens in real time on here. So I encourage you to stick around, subscribe to the channel, because it'll give you time to see everything you need to see, to do the investigations of what it is that I talk about, but also to receive some of those healings and whatever is possibly next too, because there's always something amazing coming. Okay? I also talk about what the true cross is, which is the Ankh. Okay? That is very relevant. That is the only cross that truly matters. And why the other one was in existence and things like that. Okay, so these are big deals. But right now, especially with what I did recently with Mount Shasta Part 2, it was not filled with light, you guys. There was no light ever at Mount Shasta. They took the Earth's root chakra from Fiji. They manipulated Mount Shasta into an energetic portal, and it was never ever meant to be that way. Okay? So that is part of what I've undone. So if you know people who healed there, if you've done healings there, it's time to purge that shadow. So I'm actually doing that for the animals of all over our planet, the ones that are coming in the future and the ones that are still remaining here today. I need to pull them through that shadow. So we're doing that Saturday. If you want to join us, you can feel free to do so. I will put the link down below. Also, if you do join us, it aligns your CNS, because we have to upgrade those, and so many upgrades along the way, because that's truly what the ascension is about. Okay? I did see somebody talking about 10-dimensional energies. Be careful with that. You can receive as high as you can go. Okay? But I did actually take us into 7D, not 5D. Okay? So that was another part of the amazing work that I did. This painting right here is actually available. You can purchase paintings of the painting in canvas print, because that right there is a key into that portal. So this is filled with DNA activations, Christ light, you guys, because the things that I did was very real. That was actually a gift to me when I did that one. The workshops are on my channel, but they gave that painting to me as a gift. They're like, we have a gift for you, and then all of a sudden I had this urge to paint that one. This painting was done by somebody else, Right after I had my awakening, they did a reading for me. This right here is not my name. It was done in 2020 in the very beginning parts. And I didn't clear Mount Shasta until 11/11 of 2020, part 1 of it. And then part 2 was just the other day. So this is how wide of a range of the work that I did. I also rose Atlantis. You guys, there were so many things in there. But right now, in the energy, they're calling it Elimination Phase 3. This is Elimination Phase 3. That's the energies that we are in. So welcome to Elimination Phase 3. What does this mean? A big push against the shadow. Third phase of it, and there's only 4. And that's what they're telling me. Okay? We are in Phase 3 of elimination of the shadow. So there's a big push against the shadow. Now, what can you do? It's very important that you let love guide the way. Out of everything you do and everything you choose love. Okay? Allow love to guide the way. Make sure it's love in the choices that you make. If there's something pushing you, it's usually going to be a choice. One is going to feel like pressure, like fear, money obligations, those kinds of things, and it usually feels yucky, right? Like these big pushes against freedom. If there's any push against free will, against freedom, against those kinds of things, because the matrix is eliminated. I have eliminated it completely out of the planetary wall. I've eliminated so many things, you guys, so many. Okay, so it's very important to be on your toes right now. It's very important to be aware of the pushes that are against you, because it's either love or not. And love is the only thing that gets to remain here, because it is the return of Christ. Let's face it, it's not an ascension, it's the return of Christ. What does ascension mean? It truly means rising in energetic frequency, right? Rising up to God. And that's why the ascension is here on this planet. Okay, because I opened up the gates of heaven when I cleared the Nile. And you can watch that one on my channel too. I didn't know these things were happening to me. I didn't know that's what we were going to do. The workshop where I cleared the Nile was on June 24th, I believe. 23rd or 24th this year. It's on my channel. They just were giving me gifts. That's all I thought we were doing in my Patreon group, because I have a Patreon monthly healing retreat as well, which you can join. If you join any of these, you're going to ascend. So, warning, you don't do the work with me and not ascend, okay? But I was just doing a workshop. That's how these come through. They tell me, oh, we're going to do a healing on this. I'm like, cool, right? Like, we're doing a healing. And then the next thing I know, like, I completely eliminated Mount Shasta. And I cut off California from life. So that's not a joke. When I did Mount Shasta the second time recently, literally, it was very painful. I cried pretty much the whole time because I missed my DM. But I cracked down Mount Shasta, and I completely cracked the whole entire state of California down the fault line when I did it. And I could hear the crack. I could feel the trembles. If you guys aren't paying attention to the whole world around you, there is severe extremes everywhere, which is biblical. But the news is not reporting it. So if you haven't noticed, there's a huge detachment from the news. Huge. They are detached from your reality for the majority of the part, right? They're still pushing fear, but they're not pushing truth. So I'd be very careful with that, but they never really have. It's about control and pushing fear and things like that. So they're not really telling you, unless you're looking in the right places, to all the severe weather that's going on everywhere. But nothing is the same, and it won't remain the same. So this is the Elimination Phase 3, which is happening right now. And there's only one more after this one. Okay? We are in the final phases of it. Science is calling it an extermination because they can tell what the earth is doing. Okay? Because everything I did, well, I did it to the earth. And people. And people, the ones who joined my stuff, had big purposes as well. Okay? And some of them may have missed marks, right? So we've got to follow those nudges of the heart. Follow the nudges of the heart. Allow love to guide the way. You guys, allow love to guide the way. Because if we don't, that's a detriment in every way. Okay? Because it's either love or the shadow. Now, when I did a Mount Shasta Part 2, I said that the fallen angel Samael was there. His name was Archangel Samael, and I don't like to call him by that because it is what everybody knew as El Diablo, is what Spirit calls him. And I love how they say it that way, because I'm like, You know, I don't do accents very well and I don't roll my R's very well. But they're like, it's El Diablo. And I'm like, okay, El Diablo. So when I undid Mount Shasta part 2, the first one I had to remove all these souls, you guys. It was like all these souls. Part 2, the triangle with the eye was moved back to Fiji. I had already moved the root chakra back to Fiji because that's the God portal. That's where it originally was. Okay, it was commandeered from there. And he had a lot of bloodshed there because that's how he kind of kept the portal going and in control. And that's how he kept everybody seeing in darkness. Okay. And as I undid his contract there, he burned from the feet up. He did. And he turned to ash. So it's not a joke. Okay. That's why there's this big, and I'm not making it up. I have not uploaded that workshop yet, but I probably will at least upload the most important parts. I cried a lot through that one because I was hoping my DM was going to be with me. And I guess a final decision there has been made, but I don't know what it is. I love him, you know? I've already lost one twin flame on this journey a year ago. So it's not an easy journey, you guys. It's not always easy to choose love over fear or over shade or over the shadow that likes to push things in not a true way. And that's what was happening up here, okay? I also moved the moon and the sun to where they were aligned and communicating through the figure 8 like they were always supposed to be. I removed this dark crystal out of the moon, which when I did the Nile, I replaced a crystal in the core of the earth as well. When I did pyramid activations at Congo, Mount Kilimanjaro, Kenya, and British Columbia, I completely repaired the crystalline grid underneath the pyramids, and I replaced all those crystals as well. So I returned the grid back to the way it once was, but then we also took it further. Okay, so that's why some people are saying, oh my gosh, 10D energies. Not everybody can receive 10D energies. I don't like sticking to numbers, right? We aren't going into 5D, we're going into 7D. But that doesn't mean that if you were here for 5D, you don't go into 5D. Okay? So that's why I don't like sticking to those numbers. Not everybody can receive 10th dimensional energies because their chakra systems aren't designed to do so. If you don't pay attention to what I do, if you do pay attention to the workshops that I do, I activated dormant chakra systems. I have rebuilt chakra systems. You now have 2 Earth Star chakras that you should connect to instead of 1. I have 3, so I always say 3, but for a majority of people have 2. Like myself, I have thousands of chakras in my system because I'm not normal, right? And so there's different walks of life here. And so when people are like, oh, receive the 10D energies, how about receive the energies that you can receive at this time? How to receive the influx of high energies? Choose love. Continue to choose love. Okay? Choose love over fear. Eliminate your shadow. I have courses on this stuff if you guys want help. But warning, when you do them with me, you're ascending. Okay? Because I'm the one who brought it about. They're very powerful. They're not just courses either. They're healing workshops in them that you don't find anywhere else because that is a part of it. You have to heal your shadow. But choose love. You can't beat the shadow with the shadow. And when Mount Shasta was done, I moved the triangle with the eye back to Fiji, which I didn't even know was going to happen. And Samael burned, right? He's gone. He's been eliminated. He was eliminated. There was 2 other fallen angels that are still on this plane, but temporarily, okay? Because this is Elimination Phase 3 is now. That means everybody's going through a mass awakening of another kind. Everybody on this planet will be awakening. Because when I did the newest Mount Shasta, it was constantly that. It was like, boom, waking people up. Boom, waking people up. Boom, waking people up. Boom, waking people up. Okay? That's a huge part of it. So I want you guys to be aware of that. Okay? Do not go into judgment on anybody. It's much easier to just shine your light through love to get people to follow that or to understand what's going on. Because when you start using this and you go outwards to try to convince people or all these other things, they don't listen. They shut down. The shadow gets in their head, right? It's like, I can't listen. I was on Facebook Live yesterday, and I've known somebody for like 20 years, right? And they're like, oh my gosh, like, at first I didn't understand what you're saying, but she's like, it's starting to really make sense. And she's like, I really do feel this call from my heart space and in my head. And so she booked her first session with me, and I've known her for years, right? And she wasn't trying to be in judgment. She just didn't understand what I was saying, but she could see what I do is real. But she was spot on with the fact that it's a pull for your heart. It's a battle for your heart and your mind. Okay? It's a battle for your soul. That's what's been happening. El Diablo doesn't want to let go of your soul. Okay? So it's free will. There should never be any fear here. All right? If what I say sparks fear, it's because you still have that lens of fear. So once you start seeing in fear, it's hard to eliminate that because they push that. They're pushing fear now. They're saying we're going to have a nuclear war, and I can tell you we're not. It would not be allowed. I had to actually shut down the nuclear plants in one of my workshops. I don't remember which one that was. Some people that did them with me might remember which one that was, but I actually eliminated them. And then there was a couple that were false. That's what they actually said. So a couple of them are smoke screens, and I undid any opportunity for them to destroy anything or create a war. So they will push smoke screens. They will push fear. They're going to push fear about war. They're going to push fear about alien attacks. But we will be walking amongst different species as a normalcy going forward. Okay, that's 7D. That's 5D. Back to the time of Atlantis, I rose Atlantis, but not only that, I'm ascending Atlantis too. So even Atlantis is evolving from what it once was. The Garden of Eden is rising. This is all in the work that I've done. They're in the workshops. If you're actually watching my workshops, you'll hear me do the work. You'll hear me talk about these things. And then you'll see backlash against the energetic flow, and things happen after I do them. Okay? So all of those things are not only rising, they're ascending. Okay? So even in Atlantis, those are the times where beings, I was alive in Atlantis, we were all like very, very big people. That's why they call us giants, okay? That's why there's that. People weren't as small, and we didn't live as short a lifespans as we do now. That was the manipulation they did. That was what they took from you. That was the control they had on you, hence the moon and the sun manipulated, and the triangle, the all-seeing eye was moved from the earth's root chakra and created in a very dark place, okay? So that people could see through the lens of darkness rather than through the lens of God. All right, I hope this is making sense. And so it's your job if you choose to ascend, or maybe you choose you still want to learn. Maybe you want to go through those trials and tribulations in a whole nother, 28,000 year cycle. Because it might just be that. Okay? And it's all about learning how to get back to God. Learning how to understand what love is. Okay? Only love can beat the shadow. But you have to choose to heal it. You have to purge it. And then you have to choose love every time. And that's what the gates talk about. Like in Revelations 21:12, which is actually 13 gates, not 12. You have to, in the choices you've made before, choose love this time. Okay? So if you've chose karmic relationships out of fear, if you chose money over love, if you chose whatever, you have to make the correct choices this time. Okay? So allow love to guide your way. Allow love to guide your way. Back in Atlantis, as I was saying, is we roamed with the dinosaurs. If you think dinosaurs were just here by themselves, that's not the correct history. Okay? Because things were quite large. People were quite large. Beings and species were quite large. And I also did another workshop that's on my Thinkific site, where I combined all elementals, because we will coexist once again. Okay? Because you talk about like fairies and Bigfoot and things, and they're higher dimensional, right? Those are all higher dimensional frequency things, and they'll tell you that. That's why they think sometimes you can spot Bigfoot and sometimes you can't. Things like that is because they're multi-dimensional creatures. They go between dimensional realms, and we will be coexisting once more. Okay, so actual contact with alien-esque species, but if you think you're not alien, think again. That's why I don't like to use that word. We're all alien, okay? We're all mutts, really. I don't know if I am, but all of you guys are really mutts. You're way more complex than you ever once knew, okay? We're not just quote-unquote human, but we will have intermingling amongst species in the future, okay? But they're going to push fear on that. They're going to be like, oh, this is a battle. Oh, they want to hurt you. They want to harm you. They push fear all the time. And they know their defenses are down. They know that what they were using against you, the ritualistic behaviors, the sacrifices of blood, all the bloodshed that they continually did on this planet to keep your vibration low, to keep you all manipulated and in fear. They know it's over. Okay? So this is elimination phase 3 that we are now in. The final one is after this one. Okay, that's what they're saying. 1 and 2 have already been done, and this one is part 3, and there's only one more. Okay, so like I said, what I do in my workshops, boomerang back around for you. Okay, I've talked about all those other volcanoes erupting. Now I've erupted Kilimanjaro. Mt Shasta is a volcano, but there's no energy or life going to it. It's going to crumble. It won't remain here. It's black to the collective whole. It's black to the earth mapping. They've showed me this several times over. And so that volcano, I don't see it erupting. It cracked all the way down, and then a huge earthquake cracked down the fault line. And the way I saw it in the workshop is like, say California's right here and the rest of the earth is right here, and it's slightly like this right now. Once it cracked, it went and it dropped into the water, and then I saw the water come back up. So that is what I saw. Okay, now spirit works in miraculous ways. Okay, sometimes they show you things and they happen exactly how they're shown. Sometimes they show you things and they're way bigger than what you thought. All right, so never go into assumptions. Don't have expectations. Don't worry about what's going to happen today or tomorrow. What you need to worry about is allowing love to guide your way. I don't push fear. I push power. What I've done is give you your power back. Now it's your choice if you're ready for love. Are you ready for love? Or if you still want to suffer. Because that's really what it's about. Because the new earth can't have suffering. So I can't do missing persons anymore. That's why they've kind of pushed me out of that. That's why they made me do what I did recently, and it was very unpleasant. Because I can't do it anymore. I've gone too high in my vibrational pull. So you guys should be doing the same thing. 2212. What you once did shouldn't be calling you anymore. It should be way heart-centered. The new earth is all about the heart flow. And I said on Facebook yesterday, and I'm going to repeat this here again, is that if you are doing healings and you haven't upgraded through all of these DNA activations and these portals, you're not healing in God's light. You are using a light or an energy that is not of God. You're not essentially doing the healing. Okay? And so if you're getting DNA activations from somebody who says they're doing them and they don't see all the things that have happened, people can watch and manipulate you. Like I could tell you, yeah, the earth is changing. It doesn't mean that I see it. It doesn't mean that I express it from my heart. So pay attention to what you're doing. Because I can feel this in the collective soul, and it doesn't feel good to me. Okay? Because I'm very attached to that light. All right? And they said in the Niles, like I hold that eye of the Ra, but you have to use it right. That's why I have the lay of the land. Like you have to know how to work within the realm of God. And you guys, we have not been used to that here. We all lost sight of God. We lost sight of love. We lost sight of respect and dignity for who we are and what matters to us the most. And for understanding that there is a way of how things should work that are proper for all. Because that is in the eye of God. We all share the same space. We all have the same thing that allows us to breathe every day. It's a gift. And it must be respected as such. So it's always an intention of doing no harm. No harm to self and no harm to others. Okay? This is a very beautiful message today. We are in elimination phase 3 and there's only 4. And they don't take very long. It's speeding up now. Okay, because there's 2 energies. Remember, one is very fast and one is slower. Like my life is happening much slower. But there's this very fast external energy. And that is you reap what you sow energy and on your way out. So we've also entered into the energy of reaping what you sow. When I did Mt Shasta, I created this time vortex, which was cool because De La Roca saw it the next day. He's like, oh, we're in a time vortex. I'm like, yes, we are, because I put us there, and he saw it. Okay, I'll show you in my workshop, I'm sure very soon. Watch part 1 if you want to, then watch Fiji, because those are relevant together, okay? But I put us in a time warp. So when Samael burned all the way and his contract was eliminated for what he created at Mount Shasta, time went backwards. And I said it was going to continue backwards for 3 days. And with that, it was spewing out karma from those that took part in it. And so we are going into the phase of you reap what you sow. Okay, that is phase 3. Elimination phase 4 is Nile is done. Okay, so I did the Nile a month ago. Remember, everything I do is in the energy, and it's already beginning to play out in your environment. So I had somebody come on the video and go, I want proof geographical. Watch all my videos, then watch all the proof that's out there. Okay, just because the Nile hasn't cleared up for you yet, it is already in your energy. All right, it will physically play out, but then it might be too late. Okay, so see from the eyes of love. Choose love, follow love, listen to love. If you guys listened to my video on Monday, Malachi gave a very important message, and only 31 people listened to that one. And this is the final elimination phases. We're in phase 3, and then all that's left is phase 4. So it is time you stop judgment, time looking for the power, okay? Why do I continually have to prove who I am when the proof is already on my channel? You can't watch one video and think you've got all the answers. It's very complex work, very complex, and it took me 3.5 years to undo their lifetimes and lifetimes of destruction and darkness. But it's so cool. It is so freaking awesome when you think about what I did. I came in, I had this plan, I cleared Atlantis, cleared my contracts, I died there, then I rose it. I sat on Saturn with Hermes and we rose Atlantis, I lassoed it. Then I started Mt Shasta, I cleared it for the first go around. Oh no, I have a missing child out of Pueblo West, hang on. 2-month-old, Hispanic female, 2 months old, last seen in Pueblo West yesterday, taken by parents. Oh, 2 months old and they lost her already, huh? Sorry, child abductions are a little bit they always pique my interest. But as I was saying is, I did really cool things. And when you look about what I did and you pay attention to the dates that I did them and the energies and the planetary alignments that were at play, they're all very biblical. 3, 6, 9, and 1s play out a lot in the work that I did. Mount Shasta Part 1 was done 11/11 of 2020. This painting was done by somebody else in the beginning parts of 2020 before I did all the work. There's tons of proof to who I am and what I've done. Okay, and so if you want proof, please watch the videos. Okay, do not bring judgment here because that hurts you very badly. It cuts you off from light so quick. Okay, judgment's not of God, fear's not of God. Okay, none of those lower vibrational things are. The new earth is ending suffering. There won't be any more suffering. That's why they called it the golden era. So you can choose love or you can choose not. It's totally up to you. But if you have judgment, don't be here. If you want to know really what I'm saying and if it's true, watch my videos. And there's a lot on here for you to watch. Watch the workshops. Those are the most important ones. Okay? So much love to all of you. We are in Elimination Phase 3. This coming Sunday is my birthday celebration. That is not the exact day of my birthday, it's the day after. But I will be giving away free messages if you guys want to come. Okay? And another free giveaway, I haven't decided what that is yet. And I'm doing the same thing on Tuesday on Facebook. So you have an opportunity to get free messages from me. It's first come, first serve. I don't always get a lot of people in my lives, but you never know. And so, we'll play it by ear with that. But at the very least, you'll get one free message, I usually go with general. I don't want to know who you are. I don't want to know anything about you because what I do is very real. But if you have a specific question, that's fine too. Okay? And so that's just my gift for you. So you guys can watch out for that this coming Sunday, the 30th of July of 23. That'll be live on my usual time frame. Okay? For now, I'm choosing love in everything that I do. And the lower vibrational things like missing people and suffrage are on their way out the door. I can't touch them anymore. I can't, because my vibration has risen too high, and yours should be too. And please don't try to heal people if you're not actively upgrading yourself, because you're only cutting yourself further off from light. Okay, do the activations. The way that the ascension works, you can't manifest your way in it, right? Hitler manifested things too, okay? You have to have a pure heart. You cannot take shadow with you. You have to eliminate all that it was. You have to eliminate all your contracts, not by getting rid of them. That was a detriment. You have to heal them. You have to bring them forward and fulfill them. You have to choose out of karma. You have to choose love. And it's not always an easy thing to do. That's not a joke, okay? I've lost at least one twin flame. I hope I didn't lose two. That would be very sad. I really don't think I did, though. I think maybe, just maybe, I still have him. And so it's not always easy, you guys, to choose love. We never have before here, first of all. We've been pushed outside of that so far. And then society or that shadow always pushes against you, right? As hard as it possibly can. And it will show you things that aren't true. It makes you believe things that aren't true. It puts you in fear that all these horrible things are going to happen to you. And that's not true unless you allow it to be. Okay? So don't play into the shadow. Choose love all the way, because we are now in Elimination Phase 3. And I am hearing to go back to my video from Monday, the last one I did before this one, and watch the message from Malachi, because it was very important. And you guys they're paying attention to what you're paying attention to. Okay? I barely watched it myself, but it was a very important message. All right? Big things are coming, and either they are blessings or they are a reflection of you reap what you sow. Either way, they're both. It's always a reflection of you reap what you sow. So what is it you sowed? Is it love? Choose love. Choose love every way. So much love to all of you. I will see you again tomorrow in a very beautiful day. Till next time. Hasta la vista, baby.